everyone, and thank you for joining me today with my podcast, Breaking the Silence Together. Sorry about that. It's my team member working on some stuff for me. Today's episode is going to really, I believe, that it's going to resonate and hit home with a lot of people. And this topic today was brought up to me, like all my topics are usually a conversation I'm having with someone else, or a question that someone is asking me. I'll bring it up on my podcast or the show. It's healing from chaos when calm feels like a threat, like it feels like it can't be real. And for those of you that are listening to me today, whether it's your first time or you've heard me 100th time on my podcast, or you know me from social media for one of my other business, my name is Jeannie Perez, and I am the founder of You're Not Alone, and that's the organization that ties in with this podcast. It's an organization that supports mental illness and any kind of addiction. We support them by providing professional help. We also help by providing tools and resources to get the individual back on track. And we also are just an ear, if that's all the individual needs until they're ready to heal or to get sober and get their life on track. We are here to meet them wherever they are in their journey. And with that being said, I'm really hoping that, every time I get on here with my podcast, or my podcast is out on the streaming platforms, that it hits someone that could really help them. Someone that is listening really needs the help, and my podcast is that help. This is the reason why I do the podcast. It's just so that we can put our information out there, or put information that an individual might be going through, just as much as we can. So, because you never know, maybe some people don't use social media, but they listen to podcasts. So I'm just trying to see different avenues and different things that we can do to make sure that hopefully we're able to help someone that needs the help. So with that being said, today's topic, I'm going to talk about healing from chaos when calm feels like a threat. And what I mean by that is, a lot of us are wired or trained, or we're raised in this kind of environment. Or sometimes when we become adults, we could have been raised a straight line, like, everything was correct, everything was right, everything was by the book. But all of a sudden we become adults, and sometimes life takes us in different avenues, that life hits us at a different way than what we were raised by. Could have been, you became an adult and maybe your relationship was chaos. Or it just could have been the lifestyle that you brought onto yourself was chaos. So what I mean by that is, sometimes when we wire our brain to where there's chaos all the time, there's yelling, there's unpredictable happenings all the time. The environment is just so unsafe all the time that we wire our brain to feel as though that chaos is a norm for us, when it really is not a normal for any. It's not a norm. I don't say normal because if anyone that knows me, I don't believe in the word normal, but I don't think it's a norm for anyone, to think that it's okay to be around yelling all the time, or in an environment where you don't feel safe, or an environment where, you feel as though you got to always be walking on eggshells to make sure you're ready for that next storm when it's going to hit you. So if this is something that resonates with you, those little couple of things that I just said is something that you're going through, then this episode definitely is for you. You definitely want to just try to sit back for a few seconds, a few minutes. You can always rewind this live if you need to listen at your own pace, at your own time. Please do that. The episode is just mainly just to put out a couple of things out there that I know somebody out there is going through, or they might know someone that's going through this, and this might be able to give them a couple tools and resources to maybe, open up and get the help, or get the strength that they need to walk away from that chaos, or just grab everything and really come in tune with themselves and realize that what I'm getting ready to talk about and the information I'm about to give you is that when you're feeling calm or all of a sudden you're doing good or you recover from an addiction or you're healing from mental illness, you see the world in a different way. And when that calmness comes into your life, this episode is just letting you know that that calmness is not a threat. That calmness is safety. It's your safe haven now. That calmness is part of your life and it's okay. So if this is something that you would like to really listen to, or if this is something that you're dealing with and you really want to find out a little bit of the information that I'm going to share, please stay tuned. This is for you. So when I say that our brain comes in tune with always feeling as though they have to put us, your nervous system puts you in a safety mode. It always protects you, and it does a good job at it. You know, you might not really understand that right now or make sense of it. Our brain stores stuff, even if it's not safety. You know, even if it's not safe for us. Our actions, our emotions, everything that we do on a daily basis, our brain stores it, just like a sponge. And whatever our brain, because, you know, all of our organs are put together. You know, one organ feeds the other. So our brain, whatever we store in our brain, it leaks out to our nervous system. And our nervous system wraps around what you've been doing or what you've been storing on a daily basis and uses that as a norm at that moment. So if you're living in chaos, or you were brought up in chaos, or you started as an adult in this chaos world of yelling, screaming, uncertainties, walking on eggshells, your nervous system starts to protect you. So even though it's not a lifestyle or actions that are really safe, you start feeling like it is because this is your everyday, and you start learning how to live around it, but on like your tippy toes about it, if you understand what I'm saying. Like, even though you know it's not safe for you, you know that relationship is no good for you, or that that environment where you're living, you know it's not good for you, but you're there because you've learned how to live with it. I think that's the better word. You've learned how to cope with it. You've learned how to live in it. But at the same time, you really just trained your brain on how to deal with this chaos. You know, like you've known when things were going to be okay, but and then you know also when that silence came, most of the time that's when something was going to happen. So you were ready for it. You knew this was the moment. So what happens is when we start healing from a mental illness, or we start recovering from an addiction, that peacefulness, that silence comes back into our life. But because we were dealing with the chaos and the silence meant threat to us, or the calmness, or just stuff being too silent or too absent, we always thought that was something was about to happen. So because you're healing now and you're recovering, and that silence is starting to come into your daily habits again, you can't wrap your head around it. You're starting to get nervous. You're starting to feel as though like this can't be good. This definitely cannot be real. It's too good to be real. Like this happiness, this silenceness, this peace in my heart and my soul, this can't be right. Something's going to happen. You know, we train ourselves to think like that because we're in that predicament, in that mode for so long. We actually start believing it ourselves. And we start sabotaging ourselves. You know, if it's peace and happiness, and you're in a new relationship now, or you might just be in the same relationship after healing or becoming sober, everything is just working out so good. To you, this is no way. There's no way this is happening to me. There's no way that things are going so good for me. There's no way. So we sabotage ourselves. We become, like I always say, we become our worst enemy. And we'll start, whether it's in a relationship, we'll start arguing over anything because we just need that chaos. to really feel like we're alive, to really feel as though things are real. Or, if we're in a situation, not with a relationship, but just family in general or loved ones, we have to really mess things up. Like we can't cope in the midst of everything being okay with your loved ones all over again. We feel as though like, no, we got to push them away. This is not real. They're being too good to me. It must be something coming after this. Like they must be wanting something from me now because they just being too nice to me. We start pushing them away. If this is something that you're dealing with, please listen to me when I tell you that you don't have to chase the chaos to feel alive. You don't have to be in chaos to be happy or to feel as you're safe, because it isn't safety. It's just something that you trained yourself to protect yourself against when you was in that situation. You're no longer there. You're healing. So this happiness, this whole bright light that's been shining on you, good vibes, this peace, just feeling in peace every day, and the silence, coming home to just silence, not a bunch of drama or chaos or screaming or uncertainty. It's real, and it's yours now that you're healing. I know a lot of us, when it's just too quiet, we're just blast some music because you want to make sure you push that silence out. You start scrolling through your phone, just trying to get your mind all over the place again because it's just too quiet, too peaceful. You feel bored. A lot of people say, I feel bored out of my mind now that I'm healing or I'm no longer getting high. But you just have to wrap yourself around that new you, that new being. This is going to be a new being for you on a daily basis, because you're no longer, you're no longer chasing that high. You're no longer, trying to figure out why you can't stay focused, why anxiety is kicking your butt or why you're not depressed. You're no longer feeling that right now because you're in a healing process, and this is part of healing. And we're able to reset our brains and just tell ourselves, sometimes we just have to speak to ourselves when we feel as though this ain't real. I know you're probably saying, well, Jeannie, I am healing, but I just still feel edgy. Like I just feel as though it can't be real that things are happening so well for me, and I get it. And I get it because we've been living so different for so long that sometimes change is hard. And it's just for everyone. Change is hard for a lot. You're not alone on that. Change is hard for a lot of people. But sometimes we have to really rewire ourselves. We have to really train ourselves all over again, mentally, physically, spiritually. We just have to train ourselves all over again, and talk to ourselves and say, okay, I'm safe now. I feel good now. And you just have to really speak that into your body, into your soul, into your mind. That I no longer want all that chaos in my life. I want this. I want this peace that I have right now. I want this good life. I want these good vibes. I want this quietness. It's real and it's mine, and I'm safe. And you just really have to speak to yourself. Write it down. You have to write. If you're a writing person, like I always say, if you're a person that likes to write in a journal, open up a new journal. If you're still using that old journal, throw it away. Put it away somewhere where you'll never look at it again. Open up a new journal. And write all this new stuff. Write all this happiness, all this joy. And really in tune it to yourself. And say, this is real. I'm safe. It's okay to feel like this. It's okay to feel no pain anymore. I'm safe. You continue to feed that to yourself, your brain will start rewiring. And understanding that now the way you feel right now is good, is safe. So it's no longer going to keep trying to protect you, put you in protective mode. And it's going to allow your system to feel calm. Your brain is going to start feeding out to your nervous system that this is calmness, this is the norm for you now, and you're safe. But we have to really come in tune with ourselves and really realize within ourselves, what is safety to us? Is what we're feeling really safety to us? This is how we want to live. We have to really, really accept that we're healing. Accept that we're in recovery. And this is part of it. This is part of your healing. This is part of your recovery. this new life, this new emotion, this new feeling that you're having on a daily basis. That you no longer have to walk on eggshells. That's gone. Accept the new you. Accept the quietness. You're no longer hearing all this screaming. You're worth it. This life has been waiting for you. Now you have it. Don't sabotage yourself. Don't become your worst enemy and feel as though that this is too good for you. This is just too good to be real. I need to do something. Now I can't do this. Now I'm not going to be, no, this ain't real. And you start sabotaging yourself. Start accepting yourself as you are now. Start accepting this peace in your life. Even if it means not having all these other people, all of this circle that you may have had before when the chaos was going on. Just accept who you are. With or without your loved ones. With or without the circle that you was always around. You owe this to yourself. You owe to being able to really come in tune with yourself and really know this. Yes, I'm feeling this. I like this. This is really what I want to be. I want to be in peace. And I'm accepting this part of my plan. Accepting this as part of my healing. It's part of my recovery. This is part of my process. And this is a step that I'm just going to grow bigger and bigger with on a daily basis, by the minute, by the second. This is part of my life now. And you just have to really wrap yourself around it and just really tune yourself into this new peace, this new happiness, this new silence in your life, little by little every day, until it just becomes a part of your full life. And you're accepting it, and you're no longer worrying about what's going to happen next. It's too good to be true. That means something bad's about to come around that corner. You want to make sure you get away from those kind of thoughts, because nothing is going to happen. The only thing that's happening right now in your life is that you're healing or you're recovering. And that's all good. That's all good. So you have to really, really accept it to have a healing, healthy process. Because this is part of your process. This is part of your healing. This is part of becoming healthy again. If you start sabotaging yourself, you start pushing this away, you're not going to be able to complete your healing 100% in a healthy way. Because the peace that healing brings into your life, the happiness that healing and recovery brings into your life, just the whole good vibe, energy that this brings into your life, if you push it away, you're going to be missing that part of this healing. You're going to be missing that part of healthiness in your life again. And you need it. We all need peace in our life. We all need to be happy. We all need to feel just safe. And if you push that away because you're not used to that feeling, you're going to be missing that part and part of your healing. It's like I said, I know life has a lot of triggers. I know that. Whether you have a mental illness or an addiction or just life in general, has a lot of triggers. And if we're not ready for these triggers, they just sneak up on us and they just mess our plans up. Because really that's what the triggers really do. They just mess our plans up. And if we give in to them, we just mess everything up. When we give in to these triggers that life just puts on us, they're testing us. These triggers just test you. They're testing you. Are you really ready to heal completely? Are you really ready to be recovered, to be sober 100%? These triggers are just brought into your life. They're just testing you. And if you fail the test, then you're back to square one. But if you fight that trigger back, you're going to pass that test. And that's what you want to do. You want to be able to start learning these coping skills. If it's a counselor that you're seeing on, if it's a counselor, a therapist, or just someone in general that you're speaking with from part of your healing, whenever you feel these triggers, these uncomfortabilities, where you feel as though the safety that you're in right now is not right for you because you feel as though it's too good to be real, talk to someone when you feel like that. Talk to yourself if you have to scream it out like, no, this is real. I'm safe now. I no longer want to feel the way I used to feel before. I no longer want to be drinking or getting high. I don't want that no more. This is what I want. Sometimes you just have to really talk to yourself. Scream it out. If writing is not good enough, it's not doing nothing while you're writing without a filter, then scream it out without a filter. Just scream it out. But we just gotta fight back on these triggers. We gotta fight back on these tests that life brings into us. These things that just really just jump out on us, trying to test us, bring us back down. We gotta fight them urges back. We gotta fight those triggers back. Sometimes, like I always say, your brain sometimes is your worst enemy. You gotta fight that sucker back. Bringing all these thoughts into your mind, all this negativity back into your mind while you're trying to do so good. Fight it back. Because you know what healing is to you. You know really what you need to do at this moment to continue in your journey without falling back. You know what it is in your sobriety to really stay focused so you don't fall back on your addiction. Fight back. Stand up for yourself. That's what you need to do. You really need to stand up for yourself, whether it's fighting your brain back. Because I'm telling you, I know that our brain sometimes is our worst enemy. Just starts throwing stuff into our mind. Boom, 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 boom. Coming at it. Sometimes we, whoa, like what's going on? You have to stay focused. You have to stay in tune with yourself. And you have to ask yourself and be honest with yourself. If you can't be honest with yourself, you can't be honest with no one. You know, you have to be honest with yourself and really say, this is what I want. This is what healing is for me. This is what I want, and this is what I'm going to keep doing every day to make sure that's what I get. This is what being sober and clean is to me. And I'm going to keep this journey until I continue. I'm not going back. You have to sometimes say that to yourself. You got to just feed it into your brain. Fight it back. And just know that you're safe. No matter how you're feeling right now, that this cannot be real because you just live in you're too peaceful right now. You know, you got this peace and harmony that's in your life right now, in your spirit and your soul. Can't be real. It's real. And hold on to it. Because you deserve it. You deserve to feel happy right now. You deserve to feel, just in peace. Without worrying about, is someone going to start screaming in any minute? Am I going to have to be fighting in the next minute? Is someone going to be harming me in the next minute? All this, let all them thoughts go. Because right now you're in a good spot. You're healing and you're recovering. And just accept it as part of your process. Part of the steps that you're taking every day, little by little. This is part of it. And you have to accept it to be able to heal healthy and recover healthy. And I always say, I always bring in, where I say to you, breathing is, regulating your breathing is such a big help. And I really do believe that. It's just a big help in our life. Whether it's anxiety, whether it's depression, whether it's you just not having a good day, whether you just feeling like it's too much right now, something, or you just feel as though you're getting ready to make this big step, or you're just ready to go do something, and sometimes you just gotta take a pause. You just have to take a pause and really come in tune with yourself. And sometimes I just feel as though like the breathing, just breathe into your nose, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let it out real slow. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Breathe it out very slow. Regulate it. If you have to put your hands in your stomach, do that. If you have to put your hands in front of your heart to feel how slow you're regulating your breath, do it. Take a pause. When you just feel overwhelmed, or you just feel as though you need to take a second to think about something before you overthink something and just make the wrong decision. Before you go jump and do this that you've been waiting so long to do, but you're about to run out the door right now and do it, just get it over and done with. Take a pause, take a breather, really just breathe it in. Whatever you're dealing with at that moment, and just exhale all the doubt, everything that you don't need, everything that's just have you, going all overwhelmed at that moment, thinking all different thoughts. Just exhale all that out, all that negativity, all that doubt, everything you don't need to be carrying around anymore. Just exhale it out. Regulate that right out your body, right out of your thoughts. Just breathe in everything good, and then go ahead and do what you're about to do. But make sure you take that pause first, because I think that's just so important. When we need to pause in life when we're doing a lot of things, because like I said, sometimes we just do things without thinking, because we either rushing or we're just trying to get things over and done, but we just do it, boom, and then after we do it, we're like, why did I do that? I should never did it that way, or maybe I should have just waited and did it this way.
Actually, Stars and Stripes
it was just
going on now.
too much. I'm so sorry. to getting some stuff ready on the other end. But yeah, sometimes it's just hard, and life sometimes just throws at us so much that we have to really just pause with ourselves and really understand what we're doing at that moment and make sure that we're not overwhelming ourselves, and making anxiety worse or making our depression worse or, sabotaging our healing or sabotaging our us being sober, staying clean. Sometimes it just takes a second to really just sit back and try to figure things out before you make that next step, or before you start feeling as though things ain't right and you want to go ahead and do something else to make it right or what you think is right at that moment. Just take a second, take a pause, and really think things out. Breathe it in and breathe it out. Regulate your breathing. That's going to help you really calm yourself down to where you can focus a little better and think a little clearer on your actions at that moment. And sometimes, like I said, it even makes you feel safer at that moment because you'll start coming in tune with yourself. Because like I said, first and almost, we need to love ourselves, and we need to realize that, our validation, our being on a daily basis comes from within our own selves. And if we can just really wrap ourselves around our own self, if that makes sense to you, we'll always feel that safety because we're trusting in ourselves. We're loving ourselves, we're validating ourselves. We don't need no one else to do that. And if anyone out there really needs to hear that again, you don't need no one out there to validate you. You don't need no one out there to love you. Love yourself first before you accept that from anyone else. Love yourself. Come in tune with yourself. Because, we come in this world by our own. We're going to go out on our own. It's just the honest truth. Just the honest truth. And we have to really learn how to cope with things on our own so that we can become a better person and really live life at our own terms and live life healthy and happy because we're doing things the way we want to do them. We're living life the way life was brought into it, in our day because we want to do it, not because we're living life for someone else or we don't feel happy unless this other person loves us or, we're always dependent on someone else to make the steps for us before we make them. You have to take control of your life, and you really have to just depend on yourself. If you can be that person just depending on yourself, loving yourself, and making every action, every step that you do on a daily basis on this healing or this recovery, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay because you're trusting yourself and you're seeing yourself as one again, as enough. And every decision that you're going to make from now on, you're going to make it on your own. You're going to be doing what you want to do. Because now you're loving yourself like you should have always been doing. But, we learn from our mistakes. It's just life, and sometimes it takes a lot from us before we start realizing how we want to live our life, how we want to deal with this mental illness on a daily basis. We want to reach out to people and get help. We finally are doing it, or we finally came in terms where we no longer want to be addicted to something, so we reached out for help. Now we live in life at our terms. And if that's you out there, if someone is listening to me right now, and you're the one dealing with the mental illness or the addiction, I want you to know that you are enough. Just love yourself and really get to the root of it, of why you're going through what you're going through on a daily basis. Make it make sense. Talk to someone if you have to help you make it make sense so that you can get the proper help that you need to really help you heal healthy. Because that's really the key, is healing healthy. So we can go on with our life on a daily basis. And if it's dealing with an addiction, make it make sense. Like, what's taking you down this road that you want to use on a daily basis? What's the root of it? What's healing to you? What's recovery to you? And get the proper help that you need so that you can heal in a healthy way. And it always starts, like I always say, and I'll say this always, it always starts with you opening up, shutting down those boundaries where you're letting people cross your boundaries to help you. Asking for help is the first step to healing and recovery. After that, you just stay consistent, and really, really want this help, whether it's for an illness or an addiction. They come in tune with both come in tune, but we just really, really have to do the first step, and that's really reaching out for help and accepting the changes that come with the help, the changes that come with the healing, the changes that come with the recovery. We have to really accept this. Little steps every day, but we have to accept the changes and wrap our heads around it, so that we can really, really contain ourselves and heal healthy and recover in a healthy way. With that being said, I'm hoping that this really hit with someone today home, or with someone that knows someone that's going through this, and maybe they can help them out, or maybe push this podcast their way, or some more information their way. Like I said, all this is on my website. You're Not Alone .online. It's there. Our phone number's on there. Our 24/7 hotline is on there. Our 24/7 live chat is on our website. Our email, which is monitored 24 hours, 7 days a week, is on my website. Just go on our website. We've got tons of tools and resources out there, whether it's for you or for someone else. The help is on my website. We're here. And if we can't help you, we're going to find someone that can help you. But you have to reach out. Let us know that you need the help, so that we can get you where you need to get to on your journey. And also, if you're following me, like I always say, and if you know who I am, you know that I'm always looking for add-ons. I'm always looking for people that want to volunteer. I'm always looking to make this movement stronger and bigger. I know that my resources, my tools and my resources and my access is worldwide. Anyone from anywhere in the world can reach out to us, and we'll be able to help them, because our team is virtual and community based. But like I always say, it doesn't matter how big my team is, it doesn't matter how many people I have around the world, we're never going to have enough, because this need is just so big, and it's growing by the second. We're losing by the second beautiful souls to mental illnesses, taking their lives, hurting themselves. We're losing them to some kind of type of an addiction with an OD, going into a silent coma. We're just losing these individuals because they don't think there's anyone out there that loves them. They don't think there's anyone out there that really cares or will support them, because they feel as though they're not worth it. They don't have this information, because they can't act on something they've never heard of. And if we can't push this information out fast and out as much as I want to do it, because I have it pushing out, I have stuff worldwide being pushed out. But like I said, the more is the merry, because we can never have enough. And if your heart is in helping these individuals with mental illness, or these individuals with these addictions, please reach out to me. Let's make this happen. Let's make this movement strong. Let's get them the help that they need. Let's try to pause, cut down these numbers. They're just duplicated, triple, 3, 4, 5 times every second. You can look at it now, look at it again in 1 minute. It's going to be totally different. Because this is so needed worldwide. This help, these tools, these resources, these professionals, the access is just needed worldwide. And we provide all free services. You would think that we will be able to just hit everybody worldwide because it's free services. But that's not the point. The point here is, it's not that just because our services are free, it's going to get everybody worldwide. It's not. Because like I said, we just need people to come on board and push this information out. Or collaborate your information with mine, whatever it is. Because like I always say, it's not about us, it's not about me. It's about what I can do for these individuals. It's about helping them. They're the ones that's important. They're the ones I'm trying to save. And I know reality. I see to reality every day. I'm sorry about that. That's my grandson playing with his pad on the other end. I come with reality all the day, and I know that I'm not going to be able to help everyone. And that's the facts, and I face it and I accept it. But it's just so heartbreaking to me because I want to help them, and just knowing that maybe there's going to be that one person I can't help because I wasn't able to get that information out to them soon enough. It just breaks my heart. It really does. It just breaks my heart. So if you're out there, I don't care where you're at in the world, if you're out there, if you're a licensed therapist, a licensed counselor, a licensed social worker, or you just want to advocate and help, reach out to us. Let's get this information out there to the ones that need it, those special, beautiful souls, the important people in this world. Let's get this information out to them. Push my podcast, push my website, download my books and my ebooks and my resources on my website and get it out to the people that need it. I don't care if you don't ever contact me, but get my stuff out to people that need it. And if you're on board and you want to help, reach out to me. There's all tons of ways you can get a hold of me. Believe me, you can DM me on this podcast. You can text me. Our 800 number is textable. You can text me on my 800 number. You can go on my website, email me, do a live chat. It might not be me that's going to see your message right there and then, but they're going to get it right out to me. My team member will get it right out to me because we don't leave anyone hanging at all. We have someone monitoring our calls 24/7. We have someone monitoring our emails 24/7. We have someone monitoring our text levels 24/7. No one is left hanging. All of our services are monitored 24/7. Everything that our business is in tune with when it comes to mental illness and drug and addiction is being monitored 24/7. No one's going to be left hanging. No one at all. And if you're trying to get a hold of me to come on aboard to help out, I'm going to answer you right away. If you're trying to contact me or one of my team members for help or some kind of assistance, we're going to get right back to you. But you have to leave a message. If you're getting the voicemail because they're on the phone with someone else, you have to leave a message so we'll know what your call is about. You just have to. I can't help you and one of my team members can't help you unless they know what's going on. And like I said, you don't have to leave your name or anything. You could be anonymous. But you got to tell us what you're looking for to make sure that we're going to get the right person to return that call or return that text or return that email. We want to make sure we're setting you up with the right person. So please leave us the information that we need. Leave us the information on why you're calling or what's the reason that you're contacting us. With that being said, I just want to say I apologize for all these interruptions with my grandson. He's on the other side, but I know he's playing with his iPad. I'm really sorry about all the interruptions. I really apologize for that. We're human. We're not perfect, and unfortunately, today my grandson is not listening to us and just really acting up. And it happens. I love him regardless, but it happens. And with that being said, I just want to say thank you to everyone that has really been supporting us. This has really been just supporting our cause, our movement, and just really, really standing by us on this, And like I said, any little thing helps. Whether it's just helping us with a community-based situation, helping us across the country just with a call, or just reaching out to one of the clients, or just helping out with anything. Helping out with a download, I don't care what it is. Or just these statements that you're sending me, that's helping. Or information that I'm getting from different clients or people that don't even know me are sending me information to talk about on my podcast or to create ebooks. So I want to say thank you. None of that goes to waste. None of it. Because knowledge is power, and I believe in that 200%. Knowledge is power. So you're sending me all this information and put out here on my podcast to create ebooks based on, and I want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. It will not be wasted. And I say, if hopefully this has resonated with someone that's shining a light on someone, and if it is helping you, let me know. or let me know what you want help with, and I'll get it out to you. You know, that's what I'm here for, to help you out. That's what our team is here for, to help you out. So just let me know what it is, and I'm going to do what I need to do to help you and meet you on your journey. And again, thank you. Hopefully I'll see you tomorrow again at 6. Maybe I'll see you tonight in our yoga session. But until then, thank you, bless you, and please take care of yourself and your loved ones. Anyone that you know that might be in these situations, please give them the hand. Please support them. Thank you, and take care.